Standard 6, Subject English, Chapter 1.2, Who's the Greatest, Part 1. Emperor Akbar or Akbar the Great is known one of the greatest rulers in the world, not just because he had a vast empire, very strong army, untold wealth, but because he was a good human being. He cared for his subjects. He had great respect for scholars, writers, poets, and artists belonging to different religions. He was a patron of art and culture. The 9 gems or Navratnas in his court were famous. Many people believe that of these 9 gems, Birbal was the closest to Emperor's heart. Akbar loved to pose interesting problems or questions in his court, and Birbal never failed to come up with an equally interesting answer. One day, the emperor entered the court with a very serious expression on his face. As soon as he was seated, he said that he had a question for all the people present in the court. What would be the punishment for someone who pulls his mustache? The court was stunned. Pull the emperor's mustache? It was unheard of. One nobleman exclaimed that he should be flogged, given 50 lashes of the whip. Another added, that's not enough. He should be put in jail without food and water. Slowly, the agitated courtiers began to cry out, beat him, flog him, cut off his offending hands. Only Birbal was silent. He was even smiling a bit. On seeing Birbal silent and smiling, Akbar asked him what he had to say and what was his opinion. Birbal replied that, on his opinion, O giver of peace to the world, the offender should be given his favorite sweetmeats. On hearing Birbal's reply, the agitated courtiers asked Birbal if he was out of his mind. How could he suggest to give sweetmeats for such a grave offense? In reply to the post question, Birbal smiled and explained who would be so bold as to pull the emperor's mustache, only his own grandson. When Akbar heard this, he burst out laughing because that was exactly what had happened in the morning. On another occasion, Birbal was relaxing with some of his courtiers. A few of them thought it was a good opportunity to shower praises on the emperor and get some favors from him. They began to compete each other in praising Akbar. One of the courtiers said, "You are the greatest of the kings." Another added, "You are the greatest of the kings and emperors that ever lived on the earth." Third courtier further added, "You are greatest of all the people in heaven and earth." Another said, "You are as great as God Almighty." Another courtier added, "You are greater than God Almighty." Now, Akbar was no fool. He did not care for false praise. He stopped the courtiers and asked them if they all believed so. Yes, they answered in one voice. On hearing the unanimous reply, Akbar told to prove it to him. He asked them to tell at least one thing that he could do so, but God Almighty would not be able to do. He warned them if they all failed to prove it, they all would incur the royal displeasure. He told they had time till the next morning. Akbar then left the place without any look at the courtiers. They were in a proper fix. They thought and thought but couldn't think of any such thing. In the end, they went to Birbal. When Birbal heard the story, he told them not to worry. The next morning, the court was full. Everyone was curious to see what would happen next. The emperor asked the courtiers if they had found a good answer to his question. He added that if not, would they ready to live the court forever? Just then, Birbal stepped forward. He pleaded the emperor not to be angry with those who think you are the greatest. He said that there is at least one thing that he could do but God Almighty couldn't. Akbar looked at Birbal thoughtfully and inquired what was that one thing. Birbal told Akbar that whenever he wished to punish someone, he could banish that person, throw him out of his kingdom. But God's kingdom lies everywhere. The Almighty can't banish anyone from his kingdom. Akbar's face lit up with a smile. He was happy to hear Birbal's reply. He appreciated Birbal for his clever reply. Akbar told Birbal that he believed him. I hope you all have understood this lesson very well. Do subscribe to our channel and do not forget to like this channel and leave a comment. In the coming part, we will be solving the exercise questions of this lesson. Thank you.